And by the way, at some time we will kind of proceed, I hope, to our maps. So by that time we might maybe stop recording also to just have some private space. But yeah, just to speak a bit about this methodology on education of adults, specifically like the author, he was serving a lot like a organizational change advisor and quite practical on this. And I tried it on myself for like a year. It supported me a lot. I can show like what was my map about and how it's worked. And then I suggest we try also something like that for our desired change in any context, and try to make some experiments out of those.
Okay,
Does it sound good?
sure.
Okay. So let me share the screen. I'll share the link to the Miro. I created a separate Miro board just for this with these canvases. So the initial map looks like that. There is some improvement, goal or commitment. It's like what change we want to do. Then basically what are we doing or not doing instead. Then what is so-called competing commitments, something that worries us and leads this behavior, and then identifying the big assumption behind those worries, why it's a worry, and then trying to kind of learn something a bit about that like big assumption, and through this experimental approach to practically get some thing on the resolution for the like natural change towards the desired goal. So that's the promise. That's how the form looks. I can guide you through what's there, but if you have questions at any moment, let me know.
Okay, can you take an example?
Yeah, that's, I'm looking on the map I was doing, like it has a bit more details now after like we did a review with Rainer who mentored me at that time. I can tell what changed, but this is like the example, and then that would be like your canvases for maps. But initially, like starting with like commitment, I was thinking about what kind of um, change. Like again, it can be sometimes it's about like typical example also on this page is like about delegation. So a person have a problem delegating, and then we find out that in reality he or she is afraid to be like that her work will be taken by somebody else and they may be not needed. This is like a typical example, but in my example I took this idea of like I want to think like in the like really long term way, or I want to like have regenerative behavior. Trying to like I'm living in different countries and dealing with different like cultures. So like maintaining some integrity. So like there are some things, of course, that mostly are like just my personal stuff, but the direction is like any value of any improvement that is desired. And then I lead to like what's instead, that like this anxiety that things are maybe complex. It's like a desire of material attachments. It's some fear or unrest in connection to like what's happening. So that's what's not happening instead of that I want to happen. Some calmness. And then there is like the worry, like what stands behind, what are the real, like I initially, when I did it first time, I put some ideas here And Rainer at that time told me like that a good check is if they are really like feeling very unpleasant just thinking about this. So instead of like competing commitments, I was like trying what is the real problem, what I'm afraid about in and like having this anxiety and so on. So some things about like my worries, and then I try, I'm looking at those worries and I'm trying to fit like what is the big assumption, like all of these ideas like, so oh, I'll feel miserable, like I won't be successful, I lose control, I am like I am. I like found that every like assumption is like fine, like is going around the idea that I am, so I thought like, okay, maybe I have assumption that I exist and so on, and then I was looking more into what does that mean, with like different experiments, how like it can be anything, again, like can be some action, some trial where we uh, try that out and then we show it to somebody and then discuss how it went. We'll go in more details when we'll try to fit it. But that's a concept in a nutshell. Do you have any questions?
Yes. So the objective is to help you to change or to help you to accept the constraint in your program.
Yeah. I forgot to tell that. Like first time I went with this, um, again, I think everybody can use it. First of all, like however they feel like, but what's happened to me is like this. When I was forgetting about like what was the initial like when I felt that there is some kind of problem, I tried to address this map, and then I kind of for like remember that, oh, I wanted this and that, and that's how it goes, and it just added some um clearness for me. And also when I was like speaking with like Rainer after a year of trying this out, I said like my experiments really didn't find a concrete answer in that sense. Is that I couldn't fully learn about this subject, but like that he advised me to look more into like a specific focus, try to take a more measurable or like smaller precise things to change. So that's what I feel is like was a helpful concept to think about changes overall. What is the big assumption is usually like when something is wrong, I typically find that there is some assumption that is stopping things to be resolved like naturally, and this might help us understanding what is that assumption.
So it's to clarify your mind when you are following your project.
Yeah, right. Whatever it could be, it's some kind of like faith in a way, and we don't know what you exactly will find, but probably like it will, like for me it helped to um be more like substantial on what I'm trying to build like in a character, but it might be like potentially like a character of a team or organization.
Okay.
So would you like to try it out?
Yes. Sure.
I think we can do like one just together and
Yeah.
maybe discussing openly. I'm not sure. Maybe we stop the recording just to, it's typically like the